Hello, this is Abby Woods reporting live in front of the Independence Hall in Philadelphia. The Constitution Convention is now back in session. From what I have heard, the men inside are getting real fired up about this meeting. The framers are inside talking about how they're going to continue the convention. Their meeting is taking place in the same room where the Declaration of Independence was signed 11 years ago. Right now, we have the Articles of Confederation, but it has a few flaws to it. Now I'm going to hand this off to Ariana Grogan so she can tell you what the Articles of Confederation is all about.
The Constitutional Convention has been called to reform and replace the Articles of Confederation. As of right now, Congress lacks the power to tax and regulate trade between states. The Articles of Confederation only gives one vote to each state and requires 9 out of 13 states to agree to pass laws. Even if the Articles were perfect in every other way, Congress doesn't even have the power to enforce them, so our government can do very little to maintain order, and this needs to be fixed. This is why the framers are meeting right now to decide how to fix it.
The framers are up in the convention trying to piece together the Constitution, which will replace the Articles of Confederation. Virginia was the primary state that was involved in the convention. The Virginia plan was called for a new government with 3 separate branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. Also, the Virginia plan includes a new representation. Under this plan, representation will be based on either states' population or the amount of money the federal government makes. The Virginia plan is a brand new aspect to that will help shape our Constitution. The New Jersey plan was an alternative plan to the Virginia plan. The purpose of this plan was to suggest only having one legislative chamber in each state. Representation would be completely equal under the New Jersey plan. The delegates have been arguing these plans throughout the convention, with no end in sight. I hope they get this figured out. It's getting very rowdy out here.
This is Brianna Hall, here to report more information about the Virginia plan. As Abby said, the Virginia plan has created 3 new branches of government. I think these branches will provide a more organized government for America. This will also prevent misuse of power by separating the power into 3 branches. Many anti-federalists are worried about the Constitution turning our country into a monarchy. However, the Virginia Compromise will allow for checks and balances within our government so no one branch or person has too much power. We have another plan in place known as the Connecticut Compromise, or Great Compromise. This plan enacts a bicameral legislature, also known as the 2-chambered body. I think this is a fair plan because it will provide equal representation within the states while still taking into account their populations, which will most effectively represent the American people's views. Now I'm going back to Abby so she can give you more information live.
There are 74 people who were chosen by the legislators for 13 states. However, only 55 people attended the convention. Rumor has it that Thomas Jefferson was not a big fan of the delegates the first couple of days, but I heard he is coming around. It's full of questions in the convention about what we are going to use, when, why not, and so many more. I think this convention will have a lot of amazing outcomes for the states, and I'm hoping it can help us and connect with every other state.
Hello, Mr. Jefferson. How are you today?
I'm good. Can we hurry this up?
Of course. What do you think about the 3/5 compromise?
I think it's good that we're acknowledging their existence, but it's not going to fix or help anything. Slavery is just going to stay the same.
Do you think that'll affect the views on slaves?
No, I think it's a give and take. Some people are going to be mad because they dislike slaves and don't want them counted towards their populations. But then again, the places that would get mad about it have higher slave populations, which will help them in the houses of representation. So people are really just going to have to decide if hating slaves or their state's representation is more important.
Are you a Federalist or an anti-Federalist?
Federalist. They're like an assembly of demigods now, but I really didn't like them going into it. But most of them are pretentious and rude, but now I see how they can contribute to the country.
Here we are, meeting again today for today's news report. Now that the Constitution has been approved, our population is split into 2 separate groups. They have been coined into the Federalists and Anti-Federalists. While Congress is trying to ratify the Constitution, there are Anti-Federalists who are opposed to ratifying it. The Federalists, who were led by James Madison and Alexander Hamilton. These 2 men have been the key parts of the convention. The Anti-Federalists leaders who were men who fought in the American Revolution. The Anti-Federalist leaders who fought in the Revolution includes Patrick Henry, Richard Henry Lee, John Hancock, and Samuel Adams. Federalists argue that there are countless difficulties facing the Republic that could be overcome only by the reformation of our government with the Constitution. In response, Anti-Federalists tried attacking every piece written on the document. The only thing is, the Anti-Federalists wanted to do with the Constitution was adding to the Bill of Rights. And several Anti-Federalists were terrified that the presidency would be turned into monarchy and Congress will gain too much power. Now I'm going to hand this off to Michaela and she'll tell you what's hot and what's not.
It's Michaela Corn here to tell you about the 1787 lifestyle. Many babies are being sent here from England and France to show us the new fashion trends. But they aren't actually babies, but dolls that have their clothes turned lifestyle so we can have new clothes for our fellow Americans. There's not much running water or products to keep us clean, so hopefully you have enough perfume. You will need it, trust me. Our men, powdered hair is in and wigs are out for you. And women, keep the wigs high and keep the natural hairstyles at home. Hangings are actually quite frequent, and people love to see it while having their chewing tobacco. Now everyone listen up. Drinking water is to be slowed down as it could weaken our physical strength. Keep up on drinking that tea. To our teenagers here, don't be too short. Girls, don't read a lot or cross your legs too much. We don't want to ruin any morals or damage health, do we? And boys, let's calm down, shall we? We want to have strong craftsmanship and plenty of you heading off for schooling.
Back again, shooting in front of the Independence Hall in Philadelphia. There's been a lot of conflict going on between Virginia and New Jersey, deciding what will go on the Constitution. The Connecticut Compromise has come to stay the non-stop arguing that's been present at the convention. The compromise discusses and agrees that the Congress should be composed to two houses. One would be the smaller Senate, where the houses will be represented equally. In the other house of the representatives, each state will be represented based on their population. This compromise allows the smaller states to have a supportive central government. Tune in shortly for the weather.
Back here for the weekly weather report. Monday, we're expecting to see a high of 75 and a low of 64 with high winds and some humidity. Tuesday, we'll have some lower temperatures, but we might see some thunderstorms and rain. Wednesday, we'll have hot and humid weather with a high of 82 and a low of 76. Thursday will be the nicest day of the week with sunny skies and warm weather. And Friday will be a little cloudy with expected showers in the afternoon.